My brothers and sisters, let me speak to your heart honestly. There are people in your life who smile when they need you, who remember your name when they are desperate, who praise your kindness when it benefits them, and the moment their need is fulfilled, they disappear as if you never existed. This hurts, not because you lost them, but because you slowly realize you were never loved for who you were, only for what you provided. And this is where many people get confused. They fear being alone, so they tolerate being used. But wallahi, there is a pain that cleans you and a pain that destroys you. Being alone can heal you. Being used will empty you. And not everyone who comes close has pure intentions. My brothers and sisters, understand this clearly and understand it without fear or hesitation. Not everyone who enters your life comes with sincerity. Some people come with needs they don't want to admit, with emptiness they refuse to fix, with expectations they quietly place on your shoulders. They do not announce this. They don't say, I am here to take. They come gently, they come politely, they come with compliments, smiles and familiarity. And because you are kind, because you are patient, because you are sincere, you open your heart before checking their hands. They observe you first. They notice that you are the one who listens, the one who responds, the one who helps without being asked, the one who forgives quickly, the one who stays silent to keep peace. And in that moment, something dangerous happens. What Allah gave you as good character, they see as an opportunity. Your mercy becomes their shortcut. Your patience becomes their permission. Islam teaches us husn al-dhan, to think well of people. But Islam never taught us to surrender our awareness. There is a difference, my brothers and sisters, between having a good heart and having no boundaries. A good heart is guided by wisdom. Blind trust is not faith, it is neglect. Even the Prophet ﷺ was cautious with people. Even he distinguished between sincerity and hypocrisy. So do not shame yourself for being careful. Do not feel guilty for being observant. Awareness is not arrogance. It is protection. Some people only come close when they want something, advice, support, money, emotional labor, validation, access. The moment their need is fulfilled, they grow distant. Their replies slow down, their concern disappears, their warmth fades. And if you are honest with yourself, you will realize this didn't happen once, it happened repeatedly. And that is where you must stop making excuses. We often say, maybe they're busy, maybe they didn't mean it, maybe I'm overthinking. No, patterns do not lie. People may lie, situations may confuse, but patterns are honest. When someone consistently shows up empty-handed and leaves full, that is not coincidence. That is character, and character does not change because you hope harder. Understand this difficult truth. Some people are not interested in you as a person. They are interested in the role you play in their life. Once that role is fulfilled, your presence becomes optional. That hurts because you were real with them. You were sincere. You were present even when you gained nothing. And now you realize the relationship was never equal. It was transactional, but only on one side. Being kind does not mean allowing yourself to be drained. Being generous does not mean emptying yourself to keep others full. Islam teaches balance. Give, but do not destroy yourself in the process. Help, but do not replace Allah in someone else's life. When you become the solution to everyone's problems, you quietly become absent from your own. Some people will test how much they can take. They start small, a favor, a request, an emotional unloading. And if you never say no, they increase the weight. Not because they are evil, but because human nature pushes limits when there are none. This is why boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are clarity. They tell people how to treat you without you having to beg for respect. My brothers and sisters, sincerity is revealed in consistency, not convenience. Someone with pure intentions checks on you when they don't need anything. They care about your well-being, not just your availability. They respect your time. They notice when you are tired. They don't disappear when you are no longer useful. This is not perfection. This is basic sincerity. And here is the part many people avoid admitting. Sometimes we allow ourselves to be used because we fear being alone. We tolerate imbalance because we think at least someone is here. But what kind of presence is that? A presence that only exists when it benefits them is not companionship. It is exploitation with a smile. Islam never asked you to destroy yourself to prove your goodness. Allah knows your intentions even when people misuse them. Your reward is not dependent on how much you suffer for others. Your reward is in obedience, wisdom, and self-respect. When you walk away from those who repeatedly take without giving, you are not becoming cold. You are becoming honest. Do not be afraid to step back and observe. Do not be afraid to reduce access. Do not be afraid to say, this pattern is harming me. People with pure intentions will understand. People with selfish intentions will react badly, and that reaction will confirm everything you needed to know. Remember this, and remember it deeply. Not everyone deserves the same level of closeness. Not everyone earns access to your heart, your time, your energy. Proximity is a privilege, not a right. And when you begin to treat it that way, you stop being an easy target for those who only come close when they need something. 2. Being needed is not the same as being valued. My brothers and sisters, this is one of the most painful truths to accept, but it is also one of the most freeing. Being needed is not the same as being valued. Many people spend years confusing the two, and in that confusion, they lose their peace, their energy, and sometimes even their self-respect. When someone needs you, it can feel good at first. You feel important, you feel useful, you feel relevant. They call you when they are stressed. They message you when things fall apart. They rely on you to fix, to listen, to carry, to reassure. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to tie your worth to how much you are needed. This is where the danger begins. Being needed means you serve a purpose. Being valued means you matter even when you serve no purpose at all. A person who values you checks on you even when everything is fine. They care about your heart, not just your help. They don't only remember you in moments of crisis. They don't disappear when your usefulness ends. Their respect for you is not conditional on what you provide. But when someone only needs you, their presence is temporary. Once the problem is solved, once the favor is done, once the emotional weight is unloaded, they move on. And you are left behind wondering why the connection suddenly feels empty. This is why many kind people feel exhausted and confused. They say, I give so much, but I feel so alone. The reason is simple. You were useful, but you were not valued. And usefulness without value is draining. My brothers and sisters, Islam does not teach us to measure our worth by how indispensable we are to people. Our worth comes from Allah. You were valuable before anyone needed you. You were honored before anyone asked you for help. And you will remain valuable even when you stop giving. Ask yourself this honest question, even if it hurts. If I stopped helping, stopped answering immediately, stopped fixing everyone's problems, would these people still stay? Would they still call? Would they still care? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, it is because the truth is knocking on your heart. Many people stay in these one-sided relationships because they fear rejection. They think, if I stop being useful, I will be forgotten. And sadly, sometimes that fear comes true. But understand this clearly. Anyone who only stays because you are useful was never meant to stay anyway. Allah does not remove people from your life to punish you. Sometimes He removes them to protect you. Being needed can become a trap. It can inflate your ego or drain your soul. You start saying yes when you should say no. You ignore your own limits. You silence your exhaustion. You feel guilty for resting. And over time, resentment grows. You don't become bitter because you are ungrateful. You become bitter because you gave more than you were meant to give. Islam teaches balance. Give but don't break. Help but don't erase yourself. Support others but don't abandon your own well-being. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that the body has rights, the soul has rights, the family has rights. You cannot sacrifice all of that just to feel needed by people who would not do the same for you. Another sign you are needed but not valued is this. When you express your limits, they react negatively. They become upset when you say no. They pressure you. They make you feel guilty. They remind you of what you've done before, as if your past kindness is a contract you signed forever. This is not appreciation. This is entitlement. People who value you respect your boundaries. They don't demand access. They don't punish you for taking care of yourself. They don't make your kindness feel like an obligation. My brothers and sisters, being valued feels calm, being needed feels urgent, being valued feels safe, being needed feels stressful. When you are valued, you are allowed to rest. When you are only needed, you are only allowed to serve. And here is a hard truth many people don't want to hear. Some people don't actually want you, they want what you give. Once that stops, their interest fades. This is not because you failed, it is because the relationship was never built on mutual care. Do not let this make you cold. Let it make you wise. Continue to be kind, but be selective. Continue to give, but with intention. Continue to love, but with boundaries. Your heart is not a public resource. Your energy is not unlimited. Your time is not free for everyone. Allah sees when you give sincerely. Allah sees when you are taken for granted. And Allah is Al-Adl, the most just. Nothing you gave for His sake is ever lost, even if people misuse it. So remember this lesson well. Being needed can make you feel important for a moment, but being valued brings peace that lasts. Choose peace over validation. Choose dignity over dependency. And never forget that your worth was never meant to be proven by how much you are needed by others. 3. Allah never designed you to be everyone's solution. My brothers and sisters, this lesson is heavy, but it is necessary. Allah never created you to be everyone's solution. You were not sent into this world to fix every broken person, to carry every burden, or to rescue everyone who refuses to help themselves. Yet many good-hearted people slowly fall into this trap, not because they are arrogant, but because they are compassionate. You see someone struggling and your heart moves. You see someone falling and you extend your hand. You see someone drowning emotionally, financially, spiritually, and you jump in without checking how deep the water is. At first it feels noble, it feels like reward, it feels like you are doing good. But over time, something dangerous happens. You begin to replace Allah in roles you were never meant to play. There is a difference between helping someone and becoming their lifeline. Islam encourages support, mercy, and cooperation in goodness. But Islam never teaches self-destruction. Allah is Ar-Razzaq, Allah is Al-Fattah, Allah is Ash-Shafi, Allah is Al-Wakil. When people begin to rely on you instead of Allah, something is wrong, even if your intentions are pure. Many people unconsciously make themselves indispensable. They answer every call. They solve every crisis. They give advice even when it's ignored. They lend even when repayment never comes. They listen even when they themselves are exhausted. And slowly people stop turning to Allah first. They turn to you. This is not a compliment, it is a burden. When you become everyone's solution, you quietly abandon your own responsibilities. Your own healing is delayed. Your own growth is postponed. Your own connection with Allah weakens because you are too busy carrying others to stand properly yourself. And here is the harsh truth. People who lean on you excessively are often not grateful. Why? Because dependency breeds entitlement. The more you do, the more they expect. The more you sacrifice, the more they assume it is normal. And when you finally step back, even slightly, they accuse you of changing. They say you're not the same anymore. No, you are finally becoming balanced. My brothers and sisters, Allah created human beings weak by nature. We need Him. We were designed to turn to Him in hardship. When you allow someone to bypass that process and lean fully on you, you rob them of growth and you rob yourself of peace. Think carefully about this. When someone keeps coming to you with the same problem year after year, but never changes, never takes responsibility, never acts on advice, what is really happening? They are not seeking solutions. They are seeking relief without effort, and you are paying the price. Helping someone should empower them, not trap you. The Prophet ﷺ taught us wisdom in assistance. He did not encourage dependence. He encouraged strength, accountability, and tawakkul upon Allah. Even when giving charity, Islam teaches dignity, not humiliation, and balance, not excess. Some people don't want guidance, they want rescue. Some people don't want growth, they want comfort. Some people don't want to change, they want someone else to carry the consequences. And if you are not careful, you become that person. There is also another danger here, one that many sincere believers don't want to admit. Sometimes being needed feeds the ego. You feel important, you feel relied upon, you feel irreplaceable. And slowly, without realizing it, your intention shifts from helping for Allah to being needed by people. This is subtle, this is dangerous, and this is why even good deeds require self-checking. Ask yourself honestly, if Allah removed this person's dependence on me, would I feel relieved or threatened? If the answer is threatened, then something needs correction. Allah does not want you burned out, resentful and spiritually drained. He wants you balanced, sincere and connected to Him. You cannot pour endlessly from an empty cup and call it righteousness. There is a reason Allah says He does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. But many people burden themselves beyond what Allah asked of them, and then they call it patience. This is not patience. This is neglecting wisdom. My brothers and sisters, you are allowed to step back. You are allowed to say, I cannot do this for you. You are allowed to redirect people to Allah. You are allowed to protect your energy. This does not make you selfish, it makes you responsible. When you stop being everyone's solution, something interesting happens. Some people disappear, others grow, and a few will finally turn to Allah. All three out